being a man in the modern world, trying to be your more traditional provider type man, the ideal father figure where the man is, he leads the family, he leads the tribe. He's the one who brings the resources in. He's the one going out to work all day, whereas the woman's at home. That in the modern world, it's painted as a bad thing, but it's almost as if that's not allowed. You're not allowed to want that anymore. And I think
Yeah.
it goes the same for women as well. There are women out there that genuinely do want to be mothers. They would rather be housewives because naturally that's what we are. We have those instincts. It's like feminists hate women for having those views, but then they
Yeah.
claim to be about female empowerment and letting women, live the lives they want to live. But then when they want to live those kinds of lives, there's a huge backlash on it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we could talk about why it has come into place, but I feel like that's a whole nother topic in terms of like why would they want to empower the women to a point where they are completely surpass the men,
Yeah,
right? And then you look at all of the statistics, at least in the United States, of where it's like the top 20% of men sleep with 80% of the women. So where does that leave the bottom 80% of guys?
yeah,
And it's like when you really think about why they did that, it's hard to come up with a reason that actually makes sense because I don't think all of that stuff happens on accident.
yeah.
Personally, what was that?
If I'm going to be honest, I think that's kind of what these, the 1%, the powerful, wealthy elite, I think that's what they want, if I'm going to be totally honest. Because I think when you try to reverse those roles, when you try to make men more feminine and women more masculine, you're taking the power away from, the working man, the 99% of people who, we
Mm.
in theory, we have so much more power than them just by numbers alone. But when you think about all the, they've got the media, they've got TV, the news networks, everything like that, and they just have so much control over us. And obviously, by making men more feminine, they have more power.
Yeah.
But if men are more masculine, men are more willing to stand up for what's right, and they're more willing to say no to the kinds of things that they're pushing on us at the moment.
No, I 100% agree. I think it's definitely propagated on purpose. I think it was also kind of like forced upon us in the same around the same time that like all the fast food popped up, and it's like when you
Yeah,
look at like men's mental health is going down at the same rate that the obesity rates are going up. It's like
yeah,
okay, well that's probably not an accident. But I think what they failed to predict was that they would affect they knew they would affect the majority of the men by this, and they probably assumed that a certain percentage of guys would say, "Yeah, you think that's not going to work for me. I'm sticking to my own thing. I'm traditional.
yeah,
I don't care what you say is right and wrong. I have my own moral compass, and I'm sticking by that." Right? And then they realized that the girls would end up only picking the top percent of guys and then leaving the rest of the men to go and taking the men's power away. And I think they predicted everything correct up until that point. And I think what they didn't realize would happen was that the women, once they start getting 30, 40, 50 years old, now having had a past of the hookup culture for 10 years, maybe she's been with 40, 50, 60 dudes, right?
yeah,
She's been just degraded and ran through essentially by dudes who don't want to be with her. But then she wants to be in a relationship with one of those top guys, and the top guys is like listen, he's like, there's a million versions of you out there in the world. It's like I don't want to take on that baggage, and I think they empowered the women to do all these things that would actually decrease their value in the eyes of the man that the woman would ideally be with.
yeah,
So I think that what's gonna happen that they failed to predict is that like 5 or 10 years from now, when all these like city girls who like roam the streets and do all the garbage, right? They are going to become extremely resentful, and I think the script is gonna flip a little bit. That's what I think.
yeah. I definitely think it's not looking good. But I do think as well, because you think about how many men, the majority of men are being, pushed pushed down essentially, and being more feminized, and there are a certain percentage of those men who are saying no, they're standing up to that, and they're being more traditional, they're being more masculine, and you see it with like the self-improvement YouTube community, the red pill, and everything like that. But I think the same effect is going to happen with women. There are going to be, the majority of women are going to be more, more of this toxic hookup culture type women who, they just want to sleep around. But then there are going to be women who see that and they don't want that. They are going to want to be more traditional, more high value. And I think
they have good fathers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, that's kind of been the aim.
I'm curious though. Is it? I wonder if is it the same for you where you live as it is in America, in terms of like the kind of dynamics, like the male female dynamics, and how everything is like being propagated and whatnot.
I'd say so. Yeah. I think it's pretty much the same wherever you go. Well, specifically in the West, because that's just what's pushed on us. I mean, there are certain instances of culture where we are naturally more masculine, because at the end of the day we're men. It's what we're hardwired to do. But yeah, that's always going to be an issue. There's always going to be that kind of dynamic there.
Yeah. No, it's funny because people fail to realize that like they're trying to change these core values we have within us that are like deeper than we can even imagine. Just like fundamental truths that we think in our subconscious that have been hardwired into us through evolution for thousands of years.
Absolutely. And like
all the different social medias and the politics come in and they try to reprogram the way they think. And because you can scroll through it on all the social media and see it 10,000 times in a day, I think what happens is it just like slowly starts to like subconsciously reprogram your mind if you consume that information enough. And then you just start to really think like that. I feel like that's why all these people will go around and they'll just like spit all the things that they've heard on the internet out. But when you ask them why, they actually can't come up with any like valid reasons in their own life as to why they think like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed that a lot. Specifically, like I've talked to a lot of people, the more more liberal-minded people who buy into, they watch the news or whatever, and they'll join like the certain hate mobs against certain people, and you'll ask them why they're right and why you're wrong, and try to debate them, but they don't have an answer because they don't think for themselves.
Yeah,
they're socially conditioned to just 100%. Be robots in effect, not think for themselves.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's wild to think about. I'm just thankful that I don't think I'm one of those people, right? So I think as a man, that's all you can really do is you have to be aware of the things that are going on, because especially nowadays, there are thousands of different communities that have propagated these ideas, and they're all designed to feminize you and take you down and strip you of your power. And as a man, you have to be aware of even the slightest ones, because they do it like through reprogramming your mind on like social media, and just like every single thing you see on a daily basis, you have to question and think, okay, is this going to be better or worse for me in terms of like, should I keep saying this? Should I keep doing this? Should I keep watching this? Because a lot of the different attempts that they use to try to like quote unquote attack you as a man are very like deceitful and very small, but they add up over time. So as a man, all you can really do is just be aware that those things are happening and do your best to avoid them and focus on just leveling up.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as a man, you should always hold your core principles. Never abandon your principles, because those are what are going to keep, your moral compass. That's what's going to keep you in the same frame of mind, and
100%.
that's gonna keep you from being deceived, from being being led into a more darker mindset.
Yep.
And always, I think as a man, you should always have your own opinion. Always think for yourself.
Yep.
And, even if your opinion is something that 99% of people don't agree with, I think you should say it anyway, because for one, you filter out the people who aren't going to like you, and the people
100%.
who agree with you, you're going to resonate with them.
Yeah, that's the best way to make high quality friends.
Yeah,
Simple.
definitely.
Just be authentic. And the people who are like you will come, and the people who don't like you will get away. But that's what you want, anyways.
I think
So,
that's how like the Facebook group's grown so well, because I've posted in a lot of like men's mental health groups to try and grow it, and there are some on the mental health groups who are like much more they're much more feminine men, and they're much more emotional, and they don't like the fact that I'm trying to get men to be more masculine, tap into their masculine energy, and they don't like that. That makes them angry. It makes them upset. But then there are men who do agree with what I'm saying, and it's really resonant with them. That message just it really it really gets them going. And seeing these men join the group, and seeing some of the posts they've put up, and they've even reached out to me as well, and just saying that they really like what I've done, and that it's become like a safe space for men to just be men.
100%. Yeah. No, I mean, it's like there's so many guys like get mad, like even on some of my TikToks, I can come across more. I guess it can come across insulting, but even like I've mentioned it before, it's like it's not an insult, it's just the truth, right? And if the truth insults you, then I think that says more about you than it does about me.
Well, yeah, and it's like the saying goes, the truth hurts. You can't handle the truth.
100%.
It, when you speak the truth, people don't like it. That's normally a reflection on their own insecurities, because
100%. Yeah.
you're saying something that's criticizing their character, that they've obviously got flaws.
Well, people like to live in the new world Western lies that it's okay to be the same person for your entire life. No, like you're allowed to stay in your parents' basement. No, like when you get back from work, you don't have to go to the gym. It's okay to sit down and eat nachos and waste your time. And it's like, yeah, sure, that's okay if you want to be a loser your entire life and not actually get the life you want. So it's like, would you rather live in a lie and just be ignorant to the fact that there's more available for you to do? Or would you rather accept the truth, put in the work, and then get the life that you dreamed of?
Yeah, exactly.
And the hardest part is accepting the truth.
It's like these body positivity movements. I get like the whole point of them. It's about being more comfortable in your own skin, but at the same time, you're not helping yourself, because if you're saying it's okay to weigh fucking 20 stone or whatever, that's not going to do you any favors. It's like these women you see online, these like plus size women who are massive advocates for that. That they say that men should love them as they are, but they're hypocrites, because they don't love men as they are. They expect men to be the super high value men. They expect men to be in tip top shape, and all that. And they're also, they're not helping themselves in terms of attraction. What are they? They're not offering much in terms of personality, in terms of value, and it's just
They're
really,
so
and it's just so toxic as well. This body positivity thing, it's saying it's okay to be toxic in effect.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I'm to the point where like when I see like the Fresh and Fit type podcast with those girls, or like just see some, even like I'll even see some stuff in person, and honestly, I'm to the point where I don't even get mad anymore. I just laugh. I literally, all I can do is laugh, because I'm like, that girl is sitting there who's 40% body fat, thinks that the whole like I'm a queen, I deserve everything because I was born. And then she goes, "You're supposed to love me for who I am. I shouldn't have to bring anything to the table because I'm a queen." And then you ask her what she wants in a man. She goes, "Well, 6 foot, six figures, right? Six pack, lots of cool friends. He's got to have a boat, penthouse, apartment, all this stuff. I just laugh, dude. It's like, I don't get how you can actually be that delusional. Like, I really don't get it.
Well, I
It's
think
just like, I laugh, and it's impossible to have respect for that person. They don't even respect themselves enough to like do anything besides just breathe and talk stuff that
well,
doesn't make any sense.
I know and I think it stems from this whole idea of, you know how you've got these dating apps, you've got Instagram, all this validation that women can get for free. Because let's face it, most men will give validation for free. They'll just give it because they have low value themselves. They don't have the self respect to not do that. And when they have access to so much free attention from men who are naturally much lower in value than them, with the way these algorithms are designed on these apps, like a woman could be a 6 out of 10, but she'll be getting matches from like guys who are like maybe 8s, maybe 9s, because that's just the way the app is designed, and
Just the way it works now.
it overinflates their ego to the point where they think they genuinely are way more beautiful, way more intelligent, way more attractive than they actually are.
Yeah.
And it creates this entitled mindset. And that's why, and I think that's why they have these really really high standards, which they themselves don't even meet.
100%. Yeah. And I kind of want to touch on the idea of respect for a second because, like, both in terms of self respect and other people's respect, like, as a guy, right? You said the guys who will give them free validation. And even if they do end up getting with the girl, she's still going to try to, like, say, I can do whatever I want. I'm the queen, all this stuff. As a man, I don't get how you can actually accept that. Truthfully, I really don't understand how you can sit there and say, okay, like, she won't respect you. If you like, by saying okay to her being like that, you really have zero self-respect.
I think
At
it
that point,
comes,
what are you getting out of it?
yeah, and I think it comes from this desperation because let's face it, most men these days we are low value. The vast majority of us, we don't have the confidence in ourselves because of the way society's programmed us to be lesser men, to be, you know, men that aren't really worth much to a woman. And obviously that lowers our confidence as men, that lowers our self-respect, and when we do get the attention of a woman, we're much more likely to over-validate, to put up with shit because it's just how we're conditioned.
100%. Yeah, I think honestly, the single greatest piece of advice that any guy could get is literally just that, like, you have to learn how to respect yourself like you would respect your absolute idol, right? Treat yourself like you would treat your favorite person on earth because that should be you.
And it's like when it comes to
increasing your self-respect, that means going to the gym. That means eating better. That means doing all the things that your 5-year-old self would have dreamed of you doing. That's what self-respect is. And if you truly, really respect yourself, you won't tolerate any shit, and other people will respect you. And as a man, that's all you can really ask for in life.
Yeah, definitely. I've always said in my videos, respect women, but respect yourself more.
100%.
Because when you don't respect yourself, that's when women start to walk all over you. That's when they start to disrespect you. That's when they start to take advantage. It's when they lose attraction as well.
Yep.
You've always got to be a man that's on your purpose.
Right.
When you pedestalize, and when you pedestalize the woman, you put her on this really high pedestal. That's when she starts seeing you as lesser. You become inferior to her, and then that's when she thinks, "Oh no, I'm not really into him anymore." And it's like the saying goes, treat a woman like a celebrity, she'll treat you like a fan.
I think even like all what you said is 100% true, but even if there's some guy watching there or out there watching this right now that's like, well, I don't want to have to like manipulate my girl. I'm like, okay, first off, it's not manipulation. That's just how it is. Be aware of that. But if that's what you think it is, scratch that. And even this, like, if you're in a relationship with your girl, right? If you put her above your career, above every single thing else, and she's more important, that means when you get home from work and you say, I'm going to go to the gym, she goes, no, I want you to stay here. You have to say, okay. Right? Like, you don't want to do that because if you if you lose who you were when you met her, then you're going to lose her.
Yeah, because
Women fall in love with the way you make them feel, and if you start
yeah.
making them feel a different way, she's gone. You're out.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you first meet a girl and she's attracted to you, she's attracted to that guy who has interesting things going on in his life, the guy who's got the purpose. And when you lose that, when you start saying, oh no, I'm going to put that aside, I'm going to put her first because she's important to me and I really love her, that's when she loses attraction because the guy is not that same person anymore. And if you think of it like, think about meeting a girl, she's really interesting, she's got a lot going on for herself. And then 6 months down the line, she sort of like, she gets complacent. She stops really following her passions. She stops, doing those things. Maybe she puts on a bit of weight. She stops putting effort into her appearance. Anything like that, you lose attraction because that's not the person that you fell for. It's not the person that you were first attracted to, and that's what women are going to see.
Love is unconditional. The only love that's unconditional is your mother's love for you. That's pretty much it. That's about all. That's the only love that is not conditional.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
your dog loves you, right? Dog. That's why dogs are so cool.
Yeah,
they just love you no matter what.
Yeah, definitely.
I 100% agree.
So. But yeah, like I think if there's any men watching right now, and you feel like you're in that position, you feel like your woman's not respecting you, you feel like she's walking all over you, I think as a man you should put your foot down. And if you want to do something, you want to start going to the gym, go to the gym. You don't need her permission, right? You are your own person. Just go and do it. And if she starts, she starts carrying on, she starts moaning at you, she starts arguing, just ignore her.
Build that.
She will submit if you put your foot down. If you're a man and you take, you tap into your masculinity and say, no, this is what I want to do. You either like it or you leave. If you take that mentality, she will either leave and you'll never see her again, but that's probably a good thing because it shows that she wasn't that into you in the first place. Or she'll start to submit to your authority as a man, and she'll be so much more attracted because it shows that you're a leader, because you can say no, you're willing to walk away, you're a strong guy, and you want to do better for yourself. And because you're building that value in your life, that's going to signal to that woman, right, he's building value now, he's becoming attracted to other women, and now it makes me, I'm more abundant now, and he's more scarce, so, I've got to compete with these other women, so it encourages her to be better.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, as a guy, if your girl is, especially if you got a cute girl, right? If she wants you to do something, like going to the gym, right? When you go home from work at 6 p.m., she wants to cuddle and watch Netflix. I have to go to the gym. She will fight you, and she will try to make you feel like shit half the time for not staying with her and watching Netflix. And the single worst thing you could do is cave into what she says. You have to put your foot down. The thing I'm trying to get across here is that she will fight you, and she will try to make you feel guilty about it. But you have to say, I don't care, I'm doing this, but just know on the other end, her respect for you will increase dramatically.
Yeah.
And that is the number one determining factor in if a relationship will actually work out or not.
Yeah, definitely. And you might come home and you might genuinely want to watch Netflix, or you might want to cuddle with her. But even if you say no and you say, look, I'm going to do my workout first, and then once you do your workout and then you go see her, you get the best of both worlds, because it's what you want, but you've got to put your purpose first. That's always got to come first, because as a man, I always say, think of it from a hunter-gatherer perspective. You're the man, you're providing the resources, you've got to be self-sustainable, and if you're not self-sustainable, you can't sustain her, you can't sustain your children. And that's what women are attracted to.
Yeah. How are you supposed to protect her on the street late at night if you haven't gone to the gym in 3 weeks, now you're fat?
Yeah, exactly.
How are you supposed to pay the bills if you started coming home from work early to help her wash the dishes? Right? Like, you got to think about it that way. It's like, she is obviously going to be super important to you if she's a long-term partner, right? I'm not saying that's not the case. And you should do stuff to make her feel special, right? We're not hating on girls here. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Do stuff to make her feel special. You should give her the life of her dreams, right? But in order to actually be able to do all that, she can't be number one on your priority list. You have to put your own health and fitness and your purpose first, and if you continue to do that forever and ever, she will always be there.
I think as a man, let her benefit from the fruits of your own labour that you've put into your own life, rather than benefit from everything she's got. Benefit from all her value that she brings you. You know,
Yeah,
be that
100%.
sustainable guy.
Yeah, most definitely. One thing is like, I told my girlfriend, it's like, we're hopping on the Chuck train, right? Like that's what we're doing. I'm the conductor here. We're doing this. It's gonna be a hell of a ride, but you are welcome to come.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I remember my last relationship. When we first started going out, I was always like going to band rehearsals and everything like that, and you know, she'd want to see me, she'd want to spend time with me, and I'd ignore her. Like, I won't lie to you. Like, when she'd been messaging me, I'd ignore her. I won't reply to her text because I've got my own shit going on. I'm doing my band rehearsal. I
Yeah,
enjoy it, and it's a big part of my life. And I always put that first, and I always said to her, look, this comes first, you know. And even though she might not have liked it, she always respected me because I
100%,
always I always was my own person. I never I didn't give up that for her.
100%. And then like as a guy, like it's never she will never just start accepting it. She will
Mm,
always try to test you
mm,
and get you to not do that.
mm,
But just know that as soon as you fail the test of her saying, I don't like when you do this, I don't like when you do that,
mm.
just know that in that exact moment, her respect for you and her attraction for you just went down.
Yeah, exactly. And she's lost
That is why
confidence.
marriages fail, is
Mm,
because the women basically castrate the men
mm,
and say, I'm in charge.
mm. Yeah, and the woman loses faith in that man to be a provider, to be a man of sustenance. It's that's just how it is. And I think if there's any men watching and they're going through that, they failed any test. All I can say is just be the man. Be the man that builds value. Forget about her for now, right? Let her walk away. If she wants to walk away, she wants to disrespect you, let her. Forget that. You're a man who's going to be building on his purpose. He's going to be building his value. Do that. Be the man of value and always put your purpose first. And then you're either going to lose her, which is still a good thing because you're losing a woman who doesn't respect you anyway, or you're going to get her and she's going to be 10 times more attracted to you and she's going to treat you so much better. She's going to respect you. She's going to submit to you. Your life's going to be so much better just by doing that.
Yeah. And I think the biggest question that guys will come up with from this is like, okay, well, I want to do that, but how do I get confident enough to actually put my foot down? How do I get confident enough to do that? And the simple answer is that you don't get confident enough to do that. You get sick and tired of getting used and walked on to the
Yeah.
point where you have no other option. And then when you actually put your foot down, it's not until after you put your foot down until you actually become confident. You don't feel confident before you put your foot down. You put your foot down, and then it's like, that felt good. I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
That's where confidence comes from.
Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of throw yourself into the deep end, and you kind of just learn to swim as you're there. Um,
You have to learn to trust yourself that no matter what happens, you will be able to handle it.
yeah, definitely. And at the end of the day, you've got to think of it like this as well. You're a man. You're physically stronger than her. You're mentally stronger than her. What do you have to worry about? Why do you need to be afraid of her? Why do you need to feel like she's gonna, do something terrible?
Her right hook isn't as good as yours. I promise you that.
Well, yeah, exactly. Obviously, I'm not condoning any kind of violence against women, but
Yeah,
you
but it's
get the
like,
point.
yeah, yeah.
You've got nothing
Like
to
she's not
fear.
gonna like physically assault you,
The
right?
worst that's going to happen is she's going to be in a bad mood, right?
Yeah.
And that bad
Worst
mood
case
won't last
scenario, she
long.
hurt your feelings.
Yeah, she'll have a little cry, a little moan, and then she'll be your best friend. Then she'll, like, that's the thing about women. They'll get upset, they'll have a tantrum, and then a couple of hours later, they'll be like, they'll be all over you. They'll want to sleep with you and everything. It's like nothing's happened. That's the
Yeah,
thing with women.
it really makes no sense. So well, I
Yeah.
guess it makes no sense unless you actually think about it in terms of one way to make it make sense is that attraction and love come from respect, and by you doing that, she respects you more, and even though it makes her sad, now she's even more insanely attracted to you in the first place. That's the only way to actually make sense of it.
it is counterintuitive, but that's just the way things are.
Yeah, it really, because like when you boil it down, if you were to put that in a simple sentence, it's like you get mad at your girl, she cries, throws a tantrum, and then because you made her sad, now she wants to sleep with you. Like it makes no sense when you actually say it out loud, but it's like you have to understand the dynamics behind it and why these things actually exist.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just the way we're wired. It's just the way femininity and masculinity comes together. It's just attraction.
Yeah.
At the end of the
It's
day,
the
at the end of the day, that's what they want. They want a man who's confident in himself, who isn't gonna give up his own shit just to please a woman. He's not gonna bend over backwards. He sees himself as the leader, and he's not gonna back down. It's either she submits to him or she leaves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you have to be. And the hardest part nowadays is that like there are so few girls out there who are actually worthy of
Yeah,
like time and effort and energy
yeah,
who will actually
100%.
make your life better.
Mm,
And it's like for me, I'm only 22. My
mm,
girlfriend's actually older than me.
mm,
I just met her out one night. I wasn't expecting it. It was the night before my last college spring break.
mm,
And it's like it was one of those things where I hadn't had an experience with an actual like quality woman yet because I was
mm.
still in college, right? You know how college girls are. They're not
Yeah,
looking for a man. They just want to sleep around, do their thing, and then bounce, right? But it's
yeah,
like this was the first girl because she was out of college and she was starting more to like look towards like settle down, right? And as a man, I can tell you right now, if she's into you and she wants to be with you, she will make it known. She
it's
will
gonna be
text you.
easy.
She will ask you to hang out.
Mm.
She will, yeah, she will FaceTime you. She will try to do all these things to get to see her. Like, she will want to take care of you. She will do things to help you without you having to ask her to. If you have to ask a girl to do things for you,
Mm.
then A, she's not into you in the first place.
Yeah,
And B, it'll make her even less into you because you're asking her to do these things.
yeah, definitely. And I think you'll know that a woman likes you because one, you'll feel it. You'll have the gut instinct. You can feel it in the air. You can feel it in her energy. And two, it's going to be
100%.
easy. She's going to make it easy. She's going to be messaging you all the time saying, "Oh, let's do this, let's do
Right.
that." She's going to be touching you a lot. She's going to be, it's just going to be a really nice, fun experience.
Right.
And
She will make you feel wanted.
yeah,
Is
and
that so?
you won't find yourself questioning yourself whether she actually does like you or not. There won't
Yeah.
be any of these stupid childish games where she ignores you for 2 hours and you're wondering what's going on. No, she's gonna be to be honest, she's probably gonna get on your nerves, right? That's the
Yeah.
way because it's like she's messaging you constantly and you're just like, oh fuck off, I want to do my own thing, leave me alone, and
Yeah,
that's how you know.
it'd be like that sometimes. Yeah,
Mm,
sometimes it's like that. It's like I remember, like within a month when I first started to talk to my current girlfriend, who I have now,
mm,
like I would be, because I was still like I was end of senior year of college, right? So like
mm,
I'd be studying. I was pre med, right? So I'm studying on like a Friday night till like
mm.
11 o'clock midnight, and it's like I look at my phone and it's like 3 missed FaceTime calls and a bunch of these text messages, and it's like you call her back and it's like she's just sitting in bed and you can just tell it's like if you came over right now, you know what would happen, right?
Yeah,
It's like one of those things.
yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
she'll make it easy for you if
Mm,
she
yeah,
likes you.
yeah,
But as a
definitely.
man, you shouldn't settle for anything less because
Well,
your
yeah,
life's stressful enough as it is.
that's what I mean. If you're a man, especially if you're a high value man, you've worked on yourself for maybe 6 months, a year, 2 years, however long it is. You've built all that value in your life. Why would you settle for someone who's not bringing something that's worth your time, worth your effort? If she's not making your life easier and she's not making your life better, what's the point of even having a woman in it in the first place?
100%.
Because all that's going to do is that's going to reverse everything you've built for yourself because she's going to wear away at you, you know,
Yeah.
and that's it's just not what you want. It's shit.
Yeah. Honestly, I think you can describe what it means to be a man in a single phrase.
Mm,
All you need to say is that as a man, you get what you deserve.
mm,
You deserve the consequences of your actions,
mm,
right? Good or bad, right? If you're a loser and you're going to deserve the consequences of your actions. If you work on yourself to become the best possible version of yourself and totally free of all the other stuff most people have to worry about, you're going to have a lot of good things in life, and you deserve what you get. I think as a man, that's really all it comes down to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I think we're best ending the call there because I've got probably nearly 40 minutes of footage, and it's going to take me forever to edit it down. So yeah, we'll finish up here. So Chuck, if you want to leave like your social media links and if you want to tell them your website and anything like that before we end the video, feel free.
Okay. So you guys can follow me on TikTok for more like fitness, mindset content. I don't do a whole lot of the dating stuff and women stuff right now, but if that's something a lot of people are interested in, I could travel down that route in the future. But follow me on TikTok. It's Chuck Leugers, and that's ChuckLeugs. And then my website is just www.chuckleugers.com. Pretty simple. So it's also in my TikTok. Follow me on TikTok and get some more wonderful content. And also follow Josh on YouTube, obviously.
Absolutely. And yeah, guys, if you want to connect with me and Chuck, we've got a Facebook group, Men's Self Improvement. There'll be a link in description. If you want to connect with us, feel free to join it. It's a community of men. We want to do better in life. We want to teach each other. We want to grow together. It's a place where we're lifting each other up. So if that's something you want to be a part of, check the link in description. Men's Self Improvement. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this session, and yeah. See you next time.